Welcome, welcome. After Title Tuesday, let's do some puzzles. Let's go here and bishop f7 to take it. Knight f3. Take on g1. Go here. We have a skewer here. Queen f5 and queen f7. I think it's this one, and then take an exchange. Check and mate. Take. I could exchange queens, for example like this, and when the bishop defends against d1, I can push my a pawn to a3, a2, and the king is too close, too far away. And if h pawn runs, then I can go for king g7. But there's a small thing to look after here. What happens if takes, bishop c2, a3, and then g5? G4, and then a2, g5, king e7, and then my pawn will queen and defend against his promotion. So that's fine. This bishop f5 takes the bishop on c2. I can trade and give a check on f7. Probably take on e3 and then take on a4. This. This one check. Queen g7, rook e7. Or is there something better? I don't think so. Rook e7 and then takes, take. And have some pawns. What's happening here? Knight d3 maybe, and if you take queen c2, king b1, knight d3, target b2 and target the queen. White cannot save both. Okay, this one has to be some kind of dc, take on d1, exchange queens, and then cb2, leaving this rook an easy target. Knight f4, hitting queen and the rook. And when rook takes c5, then you take on e2 and then take back on c5. This should be checkmate. What is this? Bishop e6? Yeah, I cannot allow this rook to move because bishop will give a check. And also here, I gotta take. Knight g7 looks correct because rook on f8 is undefended. Okay. Double. King c8, bishop b5 to stop king from escaping, and you also attack a rook on e8. If you go first bishop b5, then it's bad because of rook b6 and pinning this rook. So you gotta go first rook ba1, force the king to get to b6 to c8, because if rook b6, then rook a8 and you lose on e8. Is what happened. Push the g pawn, push the pawn which is the further from us, from the knights. g3, b7, just take it, knight b7, and then g2, and the pawn is just too quick. Take, capture the pawn. Rook takes d6, e d6, bishop d4, and then take on f6. Looks okay. But what's wrong with bishop d4? Oh, you can go for a long castle. What's happening here? Bishop a6 maybe, and then take on d7, plus you're attacking the rook on e8, so even if my bishop hangs after bishop a6 and queen a5, let's say, queen d7, the bishop is pretty much immune, because if rook d8, queen c6, and it will defend it. And if you take a bishop, then I take your rook. So, do this. This, rook e1. And some bishop f4 should do the job. Take, go here. Just notice that on knight f6 I can simply take queen is pinned. Check, mate. g7 here, f7 takes, king e7, and should win. Knight e3 traps this rook on b4. Should be enough. Rook a6 looks good, because I attack the queen and also a7 at the same time. This one, I think it's supposed to be bishop d4, queen d4, and rook e1. Overloading this rook on d1, because if you move the king, then I can exchange queens, and then rook on c1 suffers. So I take rook e1 and queen takes d4. What's it gonna be here? Queen d6 maybe, and then if you go to e8, there's mate on e7. If you go to g8, there's mate on d8, I mean queen e8, queen e8. Here it seems like rook is getting trapped on c7 on that side. So I could start with I could probably play King d6. King d6 and then if rook c6, then king to c6. Oh, by the way, this is not... yeah, I can do that. If you take, I take a rook, and if d6, bishop c6. I missed that. Because if I go from d8, he's gonna attack b6 and he's gonna escape. So I need to defend b6 as well. Let's see, queen g7 takes here. Does work. Queen d1, well, I gotta take. And first exchange on e8 and then take a rook. c7 is defended, so there's nothing to be scared of in that regard, so I can do rook d2. I can think about my own threats. Rook d2, and then this knight or queen g2 is in danger. Wait, this rook e2. Oh, then I place a rook on d1. Knight f3 looks decent, or I could go for the bishop. I wanted first knight f3, gf, and queen d1, king d1, bishop f3, but in the end of all of this, you got cb7 check, and you take my rook, but I can do this simply. Hello Peter, how are you doing? Stressful evening. I mean, it's a peaceful evening, but afternoon was not so peaceful. Wait, I can take this. Yep. 44. I think I take on d3 and then take on e6. That's the plan. And now how to capture. If rook e6, there's queen d8 and the bishop on c8 hangs. So I gotta do bishop e6, recapture. Easy for you to say. Queen e7 check looks pretty good. And I think with the series of checks, I'm gonna take on f7, clear the 7th rank, and then involve my rook into the attack. That's my assumption. So let's give a check here. If he goes to b5, what happens? And how are you doing in handball? Oh, versus Norway, I think that would be very, very tough. Oh, if king b5, then I castle. I forgot I can castle because now bishop will... Hello. And then just castle. Because after castle you have rook b1 next, and... I'm doing great. I played Title Tuesday. Didn't play so well, but it was fun. Oh, you beat Sweden and Croatia. Well, then good luck. You got some chance. You had a decent chance in football, why wouldn't you have in handball? I don't see why not. Queen g6. Yeah, in volleyball you're quite good. Bishop d2. Probably this. Do we have queen g7? f6. f6, and then you take on g7, I guess. You can exchange twice on g7, rook f7, and then take on b7. No, but come on, you're better in handball and volleyball than you are in football. Come on. Rook c1, takes, king e2, knight f4. Should do the job. Take, queen d6. And there's no medicine against queen e7, is it? I mean, there's bishop queen c5, but bishop c5 takes queen b8, the easiest. Okay. Yeah, one Sheshko. I think it's something like this, just king h2 and then start pushing. Dhaka, long time no see. I guess king h2. I cannot play h2 because he can just wait. And then I'm cooked. Then I'm cooked. 94 takes, bishop takes. Piece up. What is there not to like? Oh, I have flashbacks. You know what I mean, Daka? Yeah, I cry myself to sleep. Yeah, the game from today was very painful. Queen e7 takes, bishop c4, bishop d6, rook d8, rook d7, exchange rooks, take on c4 and beat two bishops versus knight. Good enough. Rook f2, d3. Imaginary master. I wanna be imaginary master. So what to do here, what to be? Oh, so it just exchange rooks, queens. Rook takes, knight c7, king f8, knight e6, fe, rook d7. Does the trick? Just imagine. Maybe this check. If king g7, knight e6 does the trick. If king f8, then knight e6. Next OTP tourney I am playing is Serbian Second League from 29th October to 5th November. I should do this, right? Yeah. This, rook h3, this, queen f2, ASMR chess. Queen e3, king h1, rook h3, gh, queen f2, knight g4, g2, king h2, g1, mate. Should be that, yeah. Am I playing tournaments outside of Serbia? Not this year, not anymore. Yeah, I'll just have a break from classical chess, stream on YouTube, Twitch, and prepare for the autumn. I think I take on e4 and then make a bridge. So let's say rook h4, king f5, rook e4. If he does rook b2, I can input rook e5 check and then take, since my bishop defends e5. If king f3, then rook e4, and if rook b2, I can take on e3 maybe. And then it's easier to win. I mean, it would be impossible to win if you have 2 versus 1, because king gets to f5, you just push your... yeah, you don't win with 2 versus 1. Preemptive, like... well, I played how many tournaments? I played 3 tournaments in Croatia this year. But yeah, if accommodation is too expensive and other things don't add up, then it's very tough. So rook h4 and then take rook e4, bishop b4. Yes. Yeah. Which 3? Bošnjaci, Sesvete Open i Vrsar. Take 92. Take 96. Bishop c5, d7 should do the job. Oh no, it wasn't in Warsaw. It's a similar name, but not that strong. Bishop f6, right? Bishop f6, and the point is if you take my queen, then I have rook d8. Unlike, I wanted first bishop f4, but he's gonna take and I'm a rook down. Rook d8 doesn't exist. So bishop f6. You gotta go gf, but then queen e8, king g7, rook d8, and the king is in big danger, plus bishop on c8 is vulnerable, so it's tough to get this. Yeah, it's... for the moment I was like, is it in Croatia? Like... ah, bishop h3, clever try, but not good enough. Well, I gotta take this one. And now I got to play for this rook on h7. No other way. True that. So I go b6, takes, bishop c8, I take on f5 maybe? king g4, knight d6, bishop a6, and then I get get towards the bishop on a6. And I guess he's too slow to, if he would like to push his pawn. Huh. So b6 here, here. See you later. KP. King g4, knight d6, bishop a6, king b4, h5, king here, h4, here, there. I guess do I prefer crashing foreign souls or domestic souls? Yes. b6. Let's go. Oh, he takes. I gotta check this. Bishop a6, here, there, king a5 here, king a6, I can just take on e4 and get to g3. Didn't even see that. Such a me moment. Knight e2 wins the queen. Am I going to watch Brazil versus US? Yes. I like watching Seoul getting crushed as well. 92. Yep. What is this, c4 or something else? c4, king c2, queen b3. King c1, rook b8, and somehow you win. You take on b2 and do the job. Anubrata Karmakar, hello. Queen b3, because if I go rook b8 first, he goes rook b1 and stabilizes. So I gotta disconnect him from defending b2. And now attack. Okay. This one, check. One more check. Oh no, check and rook e6, that's the... Yeah. Probably this. Rook e6. And then just rook h6. Easy peasy. Yeah, don't make it weird, please. f3, knight a5. f3, yeah, and then knight a5 comes to grab this bishop. Should be okay. Knight a5. Yes. Is this the move? Wow. Knight f4 takes, and then I grab some pawns. Because if I go... well, I cannot go... if I go queen h5, then I guess he has h4 or something. Something similar to have queen e4 next, using the fact that I cannot take on h4 because of bishop, which hangs on e5. And also by knight f4, I want to go queen g5 and queen g2. So it's not easy for white to avoid losses because queen is hanging here. Ah, this is how. Okay, I'm pinned. Let's not forget that. I am pinned. My knight is pinned. I cannot move it, so don't calculate crazy lines with knight c7 check and blah blah blah. So it's only b4, right? b4, en passant. Rook a1, king b5, and something gotta work here. It better be working. Queen d3, no. Wait, this, aha, then after en passant c4 check and then rook a1 because you want to stop him from getting to b5. So b4, en passant c4, king a6, rook a1 is almost checkmate. I mean, you can delay, but you can't hide. So this en passant c4, king a4, rook a1, queen a3, queen b4. Decent. Oh. Well, take this. Take this. If I go here, bishop c5, that's very, very unpleasant. I think I gotta take this, but this pawn scares the crap out of me. Gives me creeps, but I guess bishop on f7 can always handle it. Because here, bishop c5, king f1, bishop c4, and I'm getting a worse position than I would after queen takes d5, so let's take it. What is this? Queen e5, if king d8... I mean, if king c6, I take king f2 and this pawn runs. So that's why you have to go for... oh, wait, he has bishop d6, but I take on f2. That's okay. Queen e5, king d8. Queen e5, king d8, and what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to wait? Queen e5, king d8, and some queen g5 stuff could work. Oh yeah, queen g5 check, you separate the king from my f-pawn and then you take on c5. I think that's the one. Ah, but he goes for bishop d6. King and pawn endings, Daka. King and pawn endings. I will find you. So, if this happened, just queen g5, and if bishop e7, then you take on f2, take, and then queen. So if king d8, queen g5, king moves away, let's say to c7, then I can take, and king f2, and my pawn promotes. So that is it. Next. Oh, too many passed pawns. Too many potential passed pawns. What can I do here? Maybe takes, and a5. f4 takes, a6. Oh, this is tough to calculate. But I don't think it's CB, actually. King and pawn. It's enough. King and pawn is enough. Enough damage for me. So I'm gonna go with the instinct and just go a5. Let's go. Let's go, boy. What's this? Rook c1, queen d1. Oh. This. I don't go for queen b2 because of promotion. Tough luck. Rook c1, queen d1, rook d1, queen b2, rook d8, king h7, and back rank again is going to be very weak. Queen b2 is bad, very bad. Sure. Rook f2. Rook f2, and then if he takes twice on f2, then I go queen g2, and then his rook is lost. So we do this, and now I don't take, I just go back. No need for drama. Just go back. Do not engage, because if you engage, then it's a problem. Queen h5, check on g5, defend g2, and then he can take on f2. So you just avoid checks. Don't go for this because of bishop h6 and lose a queen, I mean exchange queen, but I guess lose an exchange on f8. in the end. Not sure, but not good, definitely. So just king to g8. A real master's always engage. Come on. Rook g8, rook g8, rook g8, king g8, take, king f7, take, and where's my knight going? Oh god. Ah, I take on d6, that's the point. That's the point. Yeah, also I can take on d6 and give a forky check. No, I cannot. I have to take on d7 first. Was I right? I think I was. I trust you, almighty Daka. I trust you. What's happening here? Rook d5, queen d5. That's not gonna work, is it? But rook e8, oh. Rook e8, rook d8, queen e4, defend the rook. So after rook e8 and queen moves, then his back rank is going to be quite weak. I take twice on d5 and give a checkmate if he takes twice. Okay. Back rank issues. Alert. I love how you think I'm threatened. It's so sweet. Queen d3. Queen d3 takes, take, check. But what happens if... Aha, if you go queen d3, queen g5, rook e8, king h7, queen d8, and you have no checks, and I want to give a checkmate on h8. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Take. I think bishop a3 is good enough, and then you separate the king and the rook. If bishop d6, then I could take, king g7, and what is this, 2 pawns up? Well, that's enough. I'll have some rook c6 ideas and whatnot. Maybe not that because of queen e4 and rook e6, but you know what I mean. A lot of dangerous ideas. Bishop a3, if king g7, then rook is lost. Bishop g3. Well, maybe I got f3. Cool, cool, cool. Bishop a3. Queen h6 doesn't seem like much. King e7 and that's BS. King d5, I think. So I could have check and rook d3. I think that could be the one. King e4. I don't think it's this because I'm getting too far away. I don't get a tempo on the rook, so he gets to play b6, for example, and to get his king very close. So I believe it's king e4, and then having this is quite a big threat. Plus the king is unluckily placed on a3, because even if you promote at the same time, imagine, you'll have check and skewer on the b file. So this looks pretty good. Here I gotta start with check, but then I gotta take on e8, take rook d1 and then rook d8. That looks pretty good. I cannot go for this one because what? Oh yeah, he'll have king f7, and when I take on e8 now, he's gonna take with the king. That's the point. So I gotta take while he can take only with the rook. And then do this. And then rook. What? d8 is next. What is this position? Take? Why be shy? Take on e1, rook e1, and now probably this to have an exchange of pieces. But I'm not sure what is so wrong with... Oh, you want to go rook g8 maybe. So bishop e1, rook g8, takes. But still, what's the big fuss? I gotta take. I cannot wait. Because he's gonna play rook g8 anyways, and then my king will be much weaker because rook will be alive. So let's do rook bishop e1 and exchange everything. Aha, this is the point. So I don't do something. If this here, queen f7. Oh, that's a tricky one. So if I go king f8, he gives a check. If I go here, he gets queen h5. I don't like that idea. If I go here, he's gonna give me more checks, queen c8 and whatnot. So I'm left with maybe just king f8, and if this happens, check. But how am I escaping these checks? How? Maybe I'm getting all the way to h4. Wait, king f8 here. king g7 here, king h6, but then take. This is not great. But king f8, that looks good. But what's wrong with this one? Check, queen f7, queen c8, king g7, queen here, king f6. That's so annoying. Aha, maybe there's queen e8, queen f5, and then you escape like this, just towards e7, d7, c7, and so on. So king f8, queen c8 check, queen e8, queen f5 here, but then there's queen 6, king d8, queen d6, king c8. No, this is looking too scary to work. But I gotta go for king f8, and then I'm gonna look what works. So queen f5, queen f7, queen c8. Aha, so you do it this way. Wait, but in my head it was much more complicated than this. How did I overdo it? Like here, queen e8. No, this is draw, wow. So this, queen g4, and again you have to escape to f6 and then e7, that's the way. And then queen h4 you have to escape this way. King d4, yeah. Too much, I agree. I definitely agree. Oh, almost knight and pawn. I think we don't take this. Although wait, why wouldn't I take f2? Oh no, f2, knight takes hg, knight e4, and then you take it. So this, king e3. f2, knight f2, g2, knight h3, and I win this. Fair and square. So why would this be very challenging? Maybe because somebody would play king e3, but then these pawns are weak. King there. Okay. Bishop takes. Greed. Greed first. Bishop e7. Bishop has to move. Bishop h6. And then king c5 to get to these. Because if I don't do it, if I do something else, he's gonna go bishop f6 and he might hold it. And now king c5 and enter. But then I have to calculate this line. Bishop e3, king d6, bishop, or king b6, king e5. Well, is there something to calculate? Because if I get this passed pawn and defend this one, is it gonna be a problem? I don't think so. I do not think so. King g6, first move, to stop king h7. Second part, block the 6th rank and then push the h-pawn. But the problem might be what happens if rook a2. Maybe there's no problem, maybe I just go bishop f6 anyways. Rook g2, bishop g5, start pushing this pawn until h7. Start pushing f-pawn until f7 and then something will prevail. So, yeah, why not? Bishop here to f6. d4 take, and that's it. Okay. Crisis averted. This one hangs, but maybe I could do something nicer. No, but why? Rook f8. Rook f8, bishop d3. And he might collapse. Queen f3, knight e5, queen f2, all these pawns are looking very, very jello. Solving them pretty quickly on the edge of procedure. Please don't report me, mighty Dhaka. Rook f8, knight e5. Then you take on f2 and take on e3. f8, bishop d3, queen f3, maybe even queen g2 to get something like knight e5, rook f2 and start collecting on the second rank. I think after rook f8 he's not gonna play bishop d3. He's gonna play something like knight e5 and then I'll take on f2, bishop d3, queen e3, and that's the end of the puzzle. Once I take on d4 it's pretty bad. So, or maybe rook f8, knight g5 for some weird reason. Am I missing something? Am I missing maybe some potential queen trap? I'm not seeing anything like that. You're right, I have to slow down. I have to slow down. Rook f8. But that's it, that's it. There's no... Oh god. Now I gotta choose. Queen f3. Queen f3, does it spoil something? Queen f3, knight e5 comes with tempo. And it's not as efficient as queen g2, I would say, because queen g2 really kills it. But again, so does queen f3, queen f2, I don't know. Maybe there's some crazy knight takes d7 stuff. Maybe I have to defend the bishop so he doesn't have a shot knight d7. So let's say this queen f2, knight d7, queen e3, king b1, and then he might have some sacrifice on b6 or... You prefer g2? Okay. No comment. The puzzle is cursed, officially. Oh, maybe you can trap the knight, actually. Not... Oh, no, that's bullshit. Let's go queen g2. c5. Jeez. I gotta take... Rook c8, king a... But let's see. Баждаємо. Queen f3. What's wrong with that? Knight a5? Oh, c5 even. That is cold. d5. Jesus Christ. That is very cold. If you take, then there's bishop a6. So sick. And white wins. So wait, queen g2, c5, rook f7, and d5, rook takes f2. Oh, and then you don't have bishop a6 anymore because I kill you here. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. Didn't see that. c6, dc, dc. Ah, queen c. Missed that as well. Also, this is good enough. c5 in the end and bishop a6. Pretty sick. Rook c8, here bishop d4, rook h1, king h1, queen h4, this, queen h2, here g2, oh. Not great. So check here, bishop d4, rook h1, maybe just king g2. See you, Dakar. Thank you for being here as always. H1, maybe, yeah, evade king g2, rook h2, and then start zigzagging. If g2 here, and now it's not the same, rook h1, then you take on g2. Let's try this. I don't think I take because there's a lot. Correct. Correcto. Queen g6. Oh no, not this. Maybe bishop c5. Queen f4, g3, queen d2, king h3, and how to stop queen g6. Oh, but on this I didn't see this check. And then perpetual. Bad. But there's rook f6, isn't there? This. Queen g7 and then take on b7. Should be fine. Rook f6. Yeah, let's go for the kill. That's right. I think it's a rook g7. I don't have time, so I think for rook g1 because of g6. So rook g7 here, rook g1, king h8. And then some stuff like bishop g5, rook e6, queen f5. Using the pin on the queen and something like that. So this here, king h8, bishop g5, queen e6. And then d5 maybe. If you give a check, I have f4. If you go, instead of check, if you go to g6, then I can take on e7, and when you take on d3, I have bishop f6 mate. Yeah, let's go for it. Bishop g5, rook e6, and then queen f5. Should be good enough. Did I miss anything? Probably. Oh, f5 is not something I was worried about. And just to show again, what did I see? This one I didn't look at. I mean, bishop f6 was allowed, so not much happened here. But after this, rook e6, queen to f5, bishop f6 comes next. And you cannot stop it. Unless you do something like rook g6, but you lose the queen. If you go queen e6, then I saw d5, and on queen g6, bishop e7. And now queen is attacked. If you take on d3, bishop f6. If you go to e5, because you gotta keep control of f6 somehow. You cannot go back because of bishop f6, so give a check, but then f4. And you gotta release. You gotta go back to g7, but then I can take on e7, and it's really tough. This queen d4, and the king is busted here. Okay, the next one. It's either could I go for rook e1 check maybe? Rook e1 check, or is it maybe simply queen e1 and chase the king until it's over? But how? Rook d3, king g4, and then he escapes somehow magically. So maybe keep him on this part. Maybe just rook e1, if king d3, queen takes f4, and his king is just horrendous. Rook e1, king f3, then you have queen h3, and if king f2, queen f1, so you gotta move to the left side. And my intuition says it's the right thing to do. If king d2, queen f2, king d3. Oh, I have rook d1 and queen c2 to take his queen at least. Let's go. Oh, I didn't see the... I didn't look at king d3. I just said it exists, but I didn't check it properly. But sometimes you just feel that something is right. Sometimes you just feel that you're getting in trouble. So, queen f4, d4. What is that? Oh, you go rook d1. and then queen is lost. If you get to e2, then it's too much adventure. This still goes on. I don't like how this... I think it will finish like some skewer on g2 when the king is on e4. Like this, here, king f3, rook f1, and now you gotta go to g4, but that looks pretty sketchy. Okay, let's just go with this. Let me see what was my intuition. So here I wanted to do something like this. If you go to e4, there's queen g2. And if you go for this... Ah, queen g2 is impossible, okay. Nothing, I was kidding. Queen f4 maybe. Not really that clear, wait a second. It's mate in 10 maybe, or mate in 8, yeah. Rook f4, king h3, queen d3. Okay, but this is way too easy. Yeah, there's this. But wait, if you go to h5, what happens? Rook f5 and queen g... Ah, oh, yeah. What a miss. Yeah, rook f4. Rook b1 and something. This rook b5, queen a6 and something. Rook b1, queen a5, rook b5, queen a6, and where's the final punch? Rook b4, if I go, he goes here. I'm only a piece down, that's a good piece of news. But I have such a bad feeling that this is gonna be the move, and I'm gonna be so pissed. Not even testing this line. Queen a5, rook b5, queen a6. Rook b4, queen a5, bishop b5, but some c6 could work. Maybe queen b3 after queen a6 to defend d5. This queen b3 and but still c6 might be working for him. I don't know, let's go for this. Rook b5. Yeah. Shone, hello. What is this stuff? Queen a6. What's the move? Queen e2. Rook b4. Queen e2. Oh, subtle. Bishop g4 is a must. Wait, 97, rook b4. EDC, bishop here. Oh god. This is too much. And then rook c4 in the end. Hello. $92. Wow, what is that? I'm a piece down. I'm a piece down and well, I might want to go for 94 here. '94 takes. Not quite. Knight g5 is also quite forcing. Takes. But what am I getting? Maybe queen g4. Huh? Takes. Queen g4. King d5. And then rook d1 and start chasing this. Oh yeah, this is the solution. Knight g5 takes, queen g4, f5, queen c4, king d7, rook d1, and start demolishing black's position. Let's go for this. If it's not the solution, then that's okay. Queen c4, rook d1. Oh, by the way, there's even queen d5, but then king e8. So I'd like to maybe get this piece involved in the attack with tempo. Rook d1, bishop d6, queen c7 maybe. King e6, queen c8. Looks pretty good. Wait, black is going up, so I gotta go for this maybe to stop this pawn, because if he starts pushing, I'm gonna be in trouble. So rook a3 and then start pushing this one. Now I gotta get my king, because if I get g3, he's gonna do this and start pushing, which I think is a draw. So I gotta do this, and I'll take his pawn. Bishop h8. f6, queen f6, knight f5, g4, rook f8, and then just move the queen away. Yeah, I think it's bishop h8. Knight f5, g4. I don't see what else, because if I go bishop h6, he has knight f5 and attacks my bishop. And at the same time defends against checkmate, so I gotta do something that keeps my bishop safe and threatens checkmate. And after knight f5, I'm gonna attack his knight on f5 like this. Looks good enough. Bishop h8 and then g4. Well, e4. What is that? Oh wait, maybe it's not g4, it's e4, but oh, now figuring out this one. That could be pain. e4 or g4? Maybe on e4 he has bishop a2, and on ef queen h6, stopping checkmate. And he's gonna kill me on the c file, maybe with some rook c8. While after g4, I'm gonna open up the g file once I take on f5, which is inevitable, more or less. So I think it's not e4, but I don't think it's so trivial. If g4, rook c8, queen f6, queen c6. Ah, that might be the point. That my rook hangs on h1 and I cannot defend. But I could go c3 maybe, or... Why not e4? Why not e4? Bishop a2, ef, queen h6, rook d2, and then double on this bishop, on this rook on d2 pin. Let's go g4. And then queen f6. And then c3. I mean, nothing else exists really. I mean, if I go here, he takes, and queen c4 looks, or queen a4 looks quite devastating. So c3, bishop a2, and now I don't take because my bishop will be vulnerable. I take on f5 like this. Okay. Luckily I got this one right. Bishop g2 and take on e1. That could work. That has to work. If it doesn't work, I'm lost. And then push e2. Push e2 and then queen f1 and get out the way. If rook g3, then queen g3. Okay. .95. If I take, he takes, of course. Knight takes, queen takes, king f8, queen h8, king f7, rook h7, king e6. Looks taxing for calculation, but I think it's that. Queen h7 here, here, there, and just escape. Because you can afford to give up maybe bishop c4, rook c4, material of that sort. So, but of course I don't want to take on d5 because then I get checkmated, I think. Check, check here, rook h7 is mate, because I don't have e6. And if I do this, and now take, I have e6 to get to. So, whoa, quick. What is that? Just king d8 and no problem. What is the trick? Maybe rook f1, right? But then I give a check. And then the king has to move and I promote. But if I give a check first, he gets to e7 and I'm screwed. Maybe that's the point, to not miss that. King d8, rook f1, bishop g3 check, and then promote. Do not blunder some back rank checkmate. Okay. This one might be similar, but different. Check and then rook d2. And then rook c2. So you can get out with the king to c8. Maybe that's the way. So let's say rook d3 check, king c6, rook c3 check, king bc, or king b6. I guess you go then to c2 and that's it. Because with the rook being here, you don't achieve anything. You're always in danger of getting your king checked when it escapes to a7. So you gotta guard it on the c-file. But first you gotta adjust your rook to second rank and then get to the c-file. I think that's the way. Check. Let's go. Okay. Almost 100. Will I choke? Rook takes d4. Rook f8, king g7 maybe just, and there's no check. Yeah, that could be it. Rook d4 and get it done. Oh. Did not expect that. Check and queen g3, exchange queens. But of course, if he goes to h2, but he's gonna go rook f1, unfortunately, and then rook f8 comes next. Aha, queen e3 is there, right? Queen e3, and then you'll force king h1, rook d1, that kind of maneuver. Let's go, let's go, let's cook. Okay, that's it. That's a part one of of my road. I have to go, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll continue this until I make a mistake. Take care, guys, and have a good night.